Good morning, everyone. I'd like some of the choir members to please come into the center aisles. Nice to see you. I'm Dr. Henry Segrishi, Director of Music, and on this Flower Communion Sunday, we're going to rise and we're going to sing hymn number 1003, Where Do We Come From? That's interesting. What I'd like for us to do is sing through each verse twice so that we get the hang of it. And then I'd like for us to break into, this is the where do we come from? Where are we? This is the where do we come from? This is the mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. And this is the where do we come from? So we have four distinct groups all singing that line again and again and again, all right? But first, we'll sing it all together, all right? And so here we go. 2, ready, and where do we come from? Next line. Next line. Last line. This group over here. Where do we come from? Where are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Bravo.
Bienvenidos. Good morning and welcome. I am the Reverend Katie Romano Griffin, one of your assistant ministers, and I welcome you to Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Church, a liberal religious community where love works. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, wherever you are on this life's journey, and whatever your gender identity, sexual orientation, beliefs, or immigration status, you are welcome here. A special welcome to those joining our service online, whether in the moment or catching up with us later. We're glad to have everyone with us. If you're new to Cedar Lane, I'd like to invite you to please raise your hand and keep it raised because we have a small gift for you. Included with your gift is a beautiful brochure that will introduce you to Cedar Lane. And there's a form at the back of it that if you complete, you can place it in the offertory basket when it comes around, because we want you to know that one of the greatest gifts you can give us today, besides your presence, is the gift of an ability to stay in touch with you. I'd like to draw your attention to the announcements page that was just next to your orders of celebration, and I'm going to give you a few highlights. Our lay pastoral visitors work closely with the ministers to support the pastoral ministry of our congregation. If you have a pastoral need or concern, Lata Poturi will be available by the Joys and Sorrows Candles table during and after the service. Also, after the service, we're having brunch. Right? Brunch is good, and it comes with our annual meeting. That's right here at 11:15 in the sanctuary. Please make sure that you register in the lounge if you're a voting member. Today, we're going to share our offering plate with an organization that we have a long history with, Beacon House. And representing Beacon House, which was founded in 1991 by UU minister, the Reverend Don Robinson, is Kevin Hinton, Beacon House CEO and Executive Director. Kevin, please come tell us a little bit about Beacon House. So it's good to see you.
My name is Kevin Hinton, and I'm the CEO and Executive Director of Beacon House. I'd like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to be present with you today, and for the children of Beacon House to be the beneficiary of today's Share the Plate contributions. As some of you know, Beacon House is an after-school education and youth development nonprofit organization that serves residents of Edgewood Commons, which is an affordable housing community in Northeast Washington, D.C., with an average annual household income of approximately $12,000. Beacon House serves approximately 400 children annually by providing homework help, high-impact tutoring, and a wide range of enrichment, college readiness, and youth development programs designed to help close the education achievement gap which separates children of color in Northeast Washington, D.C., and their white peers. I am deeply grateful to you for your continuing interest in supporting Beacon House. Just over a year ago, you chose Beacon House as the beneficiary of a Share the Plate contribution. At that time, we had embarked on an ambitious effort to raise more than $100,000 in a very short period of time to ensure our continuing ability to offer our summer camp program to families in Edgewood. Contributions from members of this congregation proved essential to helping us achieve this goal, and we will always be indebted to you for your generosity last year. So, your contribution today will help ensure our ability to continue to lift children of Ward 5 out of poverty and to empower them to achieve, take risks, and lead successful lives. Over 90% of Beacon House's seniors graduate on time each year, and the majority of those graduates enroll in college within 4 months. We are now in the midst of a new fundraising effort, our Summer and Beyond campaign, and our goal is to raise $60,000 to fully fund this year's summer camp program and also to provide critical support to other programs that we offer. I'm pleased and proud to enjoy the chance to lead an organization which has helped hundreds of children to complete high school and attend college, many on full academic and athletic scholarships over the course of more than 27 years. And I remain proud that Beacon House continues to be recognized by the Catalog for Philanthropy Greater Washington as one of the best nonprofit organizations in the District of Columbia. None of this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. None of this would be possible without the support of Cedar Lane and other UU churches across the Beltway. So on behalf of the board and staff of Beacon House, I thank you again for your support and your generosity, and I wish you all the best for a great spring and summer.
Thank you.
Now, in keeping with the spirit of deepening our connection to community, let us turn and greet our neighbors, and most especially our guests. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from?
Okay.
What are we? Where are we going?
Okay.
Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we
going?
Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going?
We come in a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes.
Some of us grow in bunches.
Some of us grow alone.
Some of us are cupped inward.
And some of us spread ourselves out wide.
Some of us are old and dried and tougher than we appear.
Some of us are still in bud.
Some of us are low to the ground.
And some of us stretch toward the sun.
And some of us feel like weeds sometimes.
Some of us carry seeds sometimes.
Some of us are prickly sometimes.
Some of us smell.
And all of us are beautiful.
And what a bouquet of people we are.
All right. Please rise in body and or in spirit to sing Mother Spirit, Father Spirit. The words are on screen, as well as number 8 in the gray hymnal, as our children, youth, and members of the flower team process in with the flowers.
As you are, as Sue Woodruff kindles the chalice to speak in unison the chalice lighting words printed in your order of celebration. We kindle the chalice to remind us of the light that brightens all of our lives. We gather many different flowers to remind us of the unique contribution each person makes to our shared faith. As we gather here, we remind ourselves that we, like the flowers, are many. We, like the light, are one. In our community of faith, may we, though many, be one in spirit and in truth. We gather, as we always gather, in sacred space, a place set aside as a sanctuary amid the many challenges of life, a center from which we may gather strength to face these challenges with courage and grace, faith and love. In this time of remembrance, we lift up those in our community who are living through significant passages, the small and extraordinary milestones of life. We pause to be present to our spiritual companions and to the concerns of our own hearts. Within our Cedar Lane community, we send healing wishes to Helen Strang, who is hospitalized at Shady Grove Medical Center. Our caring extends beyond Cedar Lane to those whose lives are lost or impacted by calamities and violence in our world. We especially hold in our hearts our neighbors in Virginia Beach, who are recovering from another act of gun violence that took 12 lives and injured 4. For these friends of ours, and for all the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken in our hearts, let us turn to the peace and solace of prayer and silence.
Let us center ourselves in this time of contemplation. I invite you to take a nice deep breath and notice this beauty before us. All of these flowers from gardens and trees, from roadsides, from all around us. As we center into this moment, let us remember that this beauty has been waiting for us. It has always been around us, and it was our intention that called us to bring it together today so that we might share it. And as we center into this moment with another breath, I invite you to consider the human beauty that is around you, that gathers with intention each week in order to be shared. We gather each week in order to take time in our lives to grow the beauty in ourselves and connect with the beauty of others in our community. Let us center ourselves with another breath. And as we enter silence together, holding the beauty and the despair, I invite those of us who are mourning the loss of a loved one or the anniversary of a loss to rise in body or spirit as we enter the silence together. Spirit of love, Spirit of life, moving in as and through all things, draw our attention to the beauty within us and around us each and every day so that we might remember that even though weeds will spring up in our lives, even though we may lose something dear to us, that beauty is not lost, love is not lost. And that we always have somewhere to come where we can be held in community. May it be so. Amen. You may be seated. As we enter this time of giving, I invite you to remember that today is a Share the Plate with Beacon House. I invite you also to think about all that Cedar Lane means to you and the many organizations like Beacon House that we are privileged to support all year round, and the many ministries that give life within our congregation to those of us who come here each week and to those beyond our walls in the greater community and also in the world. Today's offering will now be gratefully received.
for the gifts that we are and the gifts that we bring, bless, and share with this, our spiritual home. May we be grateful. The Flower Communion is a uniquely Unitarian Universalist celebration created by Czech Unitarian ministers Dr. Norbert Fabian Capek and his wife Maha Capek, who founded the modern Unitarian movement in the Czech Republic. They introduced this special service at their church on June 4th, 1923. Dr. Capek was born on June 3rd, 1870, in what was then Czechoslovakia. He became a reporter during the First World War and then came to the U.S., where he served in Army intelligence during the war.
Norbert met and married Maha in New York, and they became Unitarians. They returned to Prague in 1921 and founded the Unitarian Church with the help of the American Unitarian Association. Maha was ordained in 1926.
The Prague Unitarian Church went on to become the largest Unitarian church in the world, with over 3,200 members. The church services mostly consisted of lectures and some music. The Capeks felt the lectures alone were quite dry and boring, and they saw the need for some symbolic ritual that would bring people closer together as a religious community. And so they created the Flower Communion service.
For this service, everyone was asked to bring a flower to church. And during the service, members would place their flower inside a large vase. Toward the end of the service, each person took a different flower from the vase. When Maha came to the United States in the spring of 1940, she introduced the Flower Communion to Unitarians at First Parish Church in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
When the Nazis took control of Prague in 1940, they found Dr. Capek's gospel of the inherent worth and dignity of every person to be, as Nazi court records show, and I quote, too dangerous to the Reich for him to be allowed to live.
In 1941, in March, Capek and his youngest daughter were arrested by the Gestapo and sent to Dresden prison. Later, he was transferred to the Dachau concentration camp, where he was killed in October of 1942. Before his death, Capek's courage in the face of torture and starvation was a source of inspiration to his fellow prisoners. He organized the Flower Communion service in prison as well. After the war, survivors testified the Unitarian minister could not have been sent to a place where he was more needed.
Dr. Capek's message of human hope and decency and his commitment to justice and freedom lives on through his Flower Communion. The Flower Communion service, as we celebrate today, is an expression of beauty through diversity. Diversity is a blessing, and we must continue to work so that people like flowers are appreciated for their unique beauty and are not disparaged simply because they are different. The Flower Communion is a celebration also of the first and seventh UU principles, the inherent worth and dignity of every person and the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. The flowers, though beautiful, are not perfect, and neither are we. Still, there is beauty in each of the flowers and in each of us. And like these beautiful bouquets, we are all connected in an interdependent web of existence. And the Flower Communion is a ritual that continues past Sunday, because as we take our flowers home with us, the ritual continues. Our flowers go to their new homes, and we can watch their fresh beauty fade away with time, because newness and freshness doesn't last forever. And the beauty of a meaningful, diverse, open, loving religious community such as ours is something that we have to create, co-create again and again and again, each year, each day, by bringing ourselves to the common table of our spiritual lives. After today's service at our annual meeting, we will decide together just what we want, who we are, and need to be in order to keep these flowers blooming in this special, quirky garden of ours. May it be so.
Let us come together in the spirit of reflection with this prayer of consecration by Dr. Capek. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask your blessing on these flowers, your messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion to your holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of your most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of us all are needed to do good work in the world. Amen.
It is time now for us to share in the flower communion. I ask that as you each in turn approach the communion table, you do so quietly and reverently, to be awake and present to these flowers before you, to know that these flowers are like us all, unique, beautiful, and mortal. Let these flowers remind us that despite our differentness and our differences, we are one with all that is. And I ask that you select a flower different from the one you brought that particularly appeals to you. And as you take your chosen flower, noting its particular shape and beauty, please remember to handle it carefully. It is a simple gift that someone has brought to you. It represents that person's unique humanity and therefore deserves your kindest touch. As we are treated to some beautiful music, let us share quietly in this Unitarian Universalist ritual of oneness and love. And I invite you to come forward row by row. And if you need us to come to you, just raise your hand and we will do so with a flower.
For
invite us to take a moment and just look around this living sanctuary. Each of us has a flower. Each of us is unique, and yet together we form a bouquet of this beautiful community. May the flowers we have shared this morning remind us that all are precious and all are beautiful, each in their own unique and special way. Together, we create an amazing bouquet. May this garden flourish, and may it bless our lives, and may it bless the world. May all of us be guided always by the transforming power of that love that will not let us go, let us down, or let us off the hook. Let us join our hearts and our voices in singing, "Love Will Guide Us." Words are on screen, but it's a familiar hymn. Guide us. Bow to the mystery and return to the annual meeting. Awesome. 7 minutes.